Tucson, and I'm Jada, and today's top story is about medial collateral ligament injuries, also commonly known as your MCL. Your MCL is a band of tissues on the inside of your knee that connect the femur to your tibia. For those of you who don't know those anatomical terms, they're also known as your thigh bone and your lower leg bone. The mechanism of this injury will be twisting of the knee or a valgus force to the knee. Symptoms may include a loud popping sound at the time of the injury, swelling of the knee joint, as well as locking or catching of the knee joint. And now over to Mariah, who will tell us more of details about this injury.
Good evening, Tucson. I'm Mariah Lower, and today I'll be talking about how to evaluate and some treatments of an MCL tear. So for evaluation, you're going to want to palpate the area. You're going to want to check the range of motion in your knee. You can do a valgus test or a resisted muscle test. So yeah, some treatments are RICE, which means rest, ice, compression, and elevate to your knee. You may need a lightweight cast or a brace depending on the severity of your injury. And again, you may need rehab and immobilize if your injury is severe. So there are 3 grades of MCL tears. The first grade will be a slight tear. It's micro, the minimal torn fibers, and the damage is minimal. Grade 2, it is moderate severity. It is a partial tear in the ligament. You have increased joint laxity and fibers remain opposed. And then for grade 3 tear, it's a complete tear. It's severe, it has gross laxity, and it hurts very bad. We'll be right back after this break, and Samantha will tell us about a famous athlete who suffered from an MCL tear.
Did you see the Sunny's new Planet bottle? Do you want to try it?
Can I have some? Whoa, this tastes amazing as the new bottle looks. Whoa. Whoa, you want to try some? Whoa.
Good evening, Tucson. I'm Samantha, and today I'm going to be talking about one of the most famous football players who has suffered from MCL during his long-time pro football career. Most of you already know who he is because you've seen him on TV, but I won't tell you that part until the very end. MCL tears can occur in any sport that you play, but they mostly occur among football players because they get tackled so much because, well, that's their job. So being a long-time pro football player and a starting quarterback for the New England Patriots for 14 seasons in a row, and being married to a longtime famous supermodel Gisele Bündchen, and being a father to 3 beautiful kids, Ben, Vivian, and John, Tom Brady tore his MCL in 2008 when the New England Patriots were playing the Kansas City Chiefs. One of their defensive players tackled him to the ground. When Tom Brady had a hard time getting back up after that, the athletic trainers knew that he had torn his MCL. His season was pretty much already over after that because he had to be out for 6 to 9 months due to surgery, rehab, and recovery time, of course. Ever since he tore his MCL, he has made a strong full recovery, and he is now back better and stronger than ever. Well, that's everything you need to know about MCL tears, like basic information, the signs and symptoms, mechanism, evaluation, and a famous athlete who tore his MCL you probably didn't even know. Brady's MCL tear back in 2008.
I think it was a cheap shot, and I think it was devastating to his team. Quite unfortunate that happened.
How do you think Tom Brady's doing this season?
He's doing excellent. He's definitely bounced back from his MCL tear. He plays quarterback, so he does get pampered and babied quite a bit. So that helps him not get hit very often, so he doesn't have to deal with that.
Do you think him and the Patriots will make it to the playoffs?
I do. They're a dominant team.
And what do you think about Brady's suspension earlier this year?
I think it was cheap. You're getting into like not MCL stuff. Like, I think it's stupid. I think the NFL has a power trip, and they absolutely were on like a, we're gonna see this through because we're the people in power and blah blah blah. But really, the air in the footballs when he was suspended from like 3 years ago when it happened had nothing to do with the result of the actual game. So yeah. And I'm not, for the record, I'm not a Tom Brady fan or a New England Patriots fan. It's just right is right and wrong is wrong.